You go to a restaurant, enjoy a meal, pay your bill, and leave. A year later, the restaurant receives an email from you saying, "I didn't like the waiter's attitude. Please refund my money." Sounds absurd, right? Yet, this is essentially what happens in healthcare when insurance companies initiate clawbacks. A health insurance clawback occurs when an insurer reclaims money it has already paid to a doctor, pharmacy, or healthcare provider. While it may sound like a routine accounting adjustment, the reality is far more disruptive, unfair, and damaging for everyone involved, especially doctors and patients. What exactly is a clawback? Clawbacks typically happen after an insurance company reviews claims and determines there was a mistake or overpayment. These reviews can take place months or even years after the service was provided. Reasons for clawbacks often include billing errors, a procedure was coded incorrectly or not covered under the policy, retroactive denials, the patient's policy was canceled retroactively, often without their knowledge. Policy changes. The insurer decides certain services should not have been reimbursed based on new guidelines. When a clawback is initiated, the insurer may demand the provider repay the amount in full or deduct it from future reimbursements. Either way, it's a financial blow. Clawbacks hurt doctors and add cost. For healthcare providers, clawbacks are a nightmare. Physician practices today have more financial instability than they did in the past. Imagine planning your finances around payments you've already received, only to have chunks of it taken back later. Doctors operate on thin margins, and clawbacks can disrupt their cash flow, making it harder to pay staff or keep their practice running. Administrative burden. Providers must scramble to reconcile old claims, locate documentation, and appeal the insurer's decision. This takes time away from treating patients and piles on more administrative work. Lack of recourse. In many cases, doctors are left powerless. Insurers hold all the cards and can demand repayments without offering a fair opportunity to challenge the decision. Clawbacks hurt patients too. Patients may not be directly involved in clawbacks, but they often feel the ripple effects. Surprise bills. If a patient's coverage is retroactively denied, the insurer might pass the unpaid amount to them. Suddenly, you're responsible for paying a bill you thought was settled months ago. Fewer providers. Facing the risk of clawbacks, some doctors may refuse to accept insurance altogether, limiting patients' options for care. Erosion of trust. Patients rely on their insurance to cover agreed-upon costs. Clawbacks undermine this trust and create confusion about what is and isn't covered. Clawbacks are fundamentally unfair. Here's where the restaurant analogy comes back into play. Once a service has been provided and payment is made, the transaction should be considered final. Healthcare providers operate on this assumption, just like any other business. Yet, insurance companies have the power to reopen these transactions long after the fact, creating a system where doctors are penalized for treating patients. They provide care in good faith only to face financial consequences for billing errors often caused by the complexity of insurance policies. Patients are caught in the middle. A clawback might force the patient to repay funds or face higher costs as doctors adjust their billing practices to protect themselves. In any other industry, this behavior would be considered unacceptable. Imagine a restaurant, a mechanic, or even a babysitter being asked to return their payment a year after providing their service. It wouldn't fly. Clawbacks highlight the need for a more transparent and equitable healthcare payment system. Health insurance companies already take anywhere from 30 to 90 days to pay out claims to doctors. They should be doing their due diligence during this time. Insurance clawbacks are more than just a bookkeeping issue. They're a symptom of a broken system that unfairly burdens doctors and patients.